over the last 40 years, the middle class of this country has declined while oligarchy is on the rise.
It's so crazy, the rich right now, the greed, the level of greed.
This is an organized effort just simply to take over our government and make the government work better and better for a thinner and thinner rich slice in America.
Looks like a preview of the 2020 campaign. Just an interesting footnote. The three there, Bernie Sanders, Michael Moore, and Elizabeth Warren, they're millionaires. They're talking about income inequality at the town hall last night. Here's their estimated net worth. You can see it there. Bernie Sanders, reportedly 1 million. Elizabeth Warren, up to 10 million. Michael Moore, 50 million. Anytime you see a range, it's because of the way the federal financial disclosures are done. They're done in a range. My political panel joins me now. Conservative commentator Kurt Schlichter, Democrat strategist Capri Cafaro. First to you, Kurt. Listen, the poor do need help, but what was AWOL not talked about last night was the economic good times that it's happening. You know, I think more than 4 million people getting tax cut bonuses. Kurt, it's about the tone. People who work hard, they don't succeed or prosper at other people's expense. There's no national income pie to divvy up, but that's how they talk.
Of course it is. They're a bunch of socialists, but they're the worst kind of socialists. They're rich socialists. And, you know, Liz, I really, really dislike socialists because I spent so much time overseas in the ruins of socialist societies, seeing what happens when idiots like this get their way. These people are clowns. They're hypocrites and they're fools. You have the right answer. The right answer is every individual American out there working to support him, himself, or herself and their families. That's the way you succeed, not a bunch of posturing by rich hypocrites.
And, you know, Capri, the income numbers that they use, they keep using the wrong numbers. They're misleading. They're basically covering up. The income numbers they use do not include things. They set aside things like, you know, company pensions or company benefits or Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, child and earned income tax credits, jobless benefits, right, Capri?
Sure. Look, I mean, I'll be the first to say, as a Democrat, that, you know, class wars are not going to win elections. And if anything that we've learned just recently from the victory of Connor Lamb in Pennsylvania's 18th congressional district is that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is not where our future is supposed to be. We are supposed to be focusing on the bread and butter issues of the economy, of lifting people up. And let me say one more thing, though, about, you know, the issue of classism, and in the Democratic Party. Let's not forget some of the greatest champions of the Democratic Party came from affluence. You know, Roosevelt and Kennedy, even, you know, Jay Rockefeller, who represented West Virginia for decades. These are more, you know, common sense Democrats having nothing to do with how much is in your bank account. Yeah. This is about how progressives present themselves.
And to Capri's point, JFK was about cutting taxes. Also, poor people got wealthy. We're talking Oprah, Steve Jobs. They grew up poor. Right. And Kurt, and
that's the American dream,
right? And that's to Capri's point, Kurt. These people on that panel last night, they didn't talk about income mobility. The people who were in the lower brackets rose into the upper brackets in a 10-year period through the last decade. I mean, you know, the time and again, they mislead the American people with this victim mentality, and they're always patriotic with other people's money. Bernie Sanders, healthcare for, you know, free Medicare for all, and the free tuition would cost like $20 trillion. And he doesn't talk about that.
Yeah, it's not actually free. Other people have to pay for it. Look, the beauty of the United States is that anybody can make it. I started out mopping out toilets at a Carl's Jr. restaurant in Foster City, California. Now I've got my own law firm. Now I write books. Now I've been able to make a life that I wanted to make. And millions of other Americans can do it. My story is no different than anybody else's. The opportunity we have here, and I've lived on 3 continents, Liz, I've seen real poverty. We don't have that here. What we need to do is mobilize our people, mobilize their potential, mobilize their energy. You can do it. You don't need a handout from these rich snobs. You can do it.
Yeah, Capri, quickly, you have 10 seconds. They didn't talk about what they want as socialism. They didn't talk about Venezuela, right, Capri, and what a failure that is.
Look, here's what I suggest to these guys. Come to communities that really are struggling in places like Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee. Learn from the real America.
Kurt, Capri, you're great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
More